Hey Aurick,
Hi Saniya,
how are you?
I'm doing well.
ऐसे this seems like the most forced conversation to exist in the history of
Yes,
mankind.
I mean
Hey, what's up? How are you? As if people care how you are. Like who cares? सब हमेशा यही बोलते हैं ना. I'm like so frustrated by this whole. और कैसे हो बढ़िया? आप कैसे हो बढ़िया? I'm like that is so.
हाँ, but sometimes people are like मैं बढ़िया नहीं हूँ और तुम क्यों पूछ रहे हो, मैं नहीं बताना चाहता, right? But with me what is happening is like मुझे पता है better हो सकता है.
वो तो हमेशा ही बेटर हो सकता है. तू इंसान है तो हमेशा there are better things
That's
out
why I
there.
just like to be very chirpy. I want my life to be energetic and nice and good things to happen. So I'm like, हाँ बढ़िया ही have to feel that energy, right? Manifest it.
यार इतने
Fake it till you
डेप्थ
make
में
it.
नहीं जाना था वो तो ठीक है बट हाँ आई एम जस्ट सेइंग दैट दिस प्लेजेंट्री एक्सचेंज वाला थिंग इज वेरी
Yeah.
is the fakest thing to exist. Is fakest a word? I don't know. If it is, it should be. If it isn't, it should be. Oh my god. Huh. Okay, whatever. So, what are we going to talk about today?
So now that we've done the fake pleasantries and everything, and let's also then talk about the thing that we fake the most. Maybe is trying to portray that we're very happy single. Let's talk about what it is like to be single.
Happy, free, that is what it feels like to be single, and it is. Yeah, you are happier. और पता है क्या? I don't like the fact that people keep comparing singlehood to you when you are in a relationship. Those are two different things, and you can be happy in both. And just the type of happiness is different. That's it. You need to know how to make yourself happy as a single person and how to make yourself happy. Otherwise, वो वाली कहावत है ना, if you don't even love yourself and if you're not happy on your own, how will you be happy with someone else, or how are you expecting someone else to love you? Be happy in yourself, be content, be secure in yourself. That is how you would find like a good man.
But that is like a very idealistic thing to get to, right? I don't think that's the base nature for most people when you're single. You long for togetherness and cuddles and अभी जैसे winter हो रहा है
Winter, oh my god, like yeah, I hate winters.
It's like winter में आप hot chocolate crave कर रहे हो. I think that's what it's like being single.
See, जाओ जाके हॉट चॉकलेट खरीदो और पियो अच्छे जगह. हम आपको रिकमेंडेशन भी देंगे. I think we should start doing this, by the way. Anyway, we keep exploring cafes. We should start giving recommendations now, I think.
So do you want to give the recommendation of the food orgasm that you just had at a place?
No, yaar, that is like I would recommend that in summers, I think. Not right now.
But I don't know, it was hot also.
हाँ, it was hot and cold both.
Exactly like my situation right now.
नहीं भाई, तू इतना मत बोल, तेरी situation cold ही है. There is no hotness.
Anyway, so what did you have जो इतना मजेदार था?
Like in terms of
अरे अभी मतलब food place recommendation thing.
हाँ, तो that so I've always wanted to try affogato, which is supposed to be an Italian dessert, and it is basically gelato and then gelato dipped in espresso. So it was freaking amazing. Like two of my most favorite things combined. Like what more could I want? Like gelato and coffee. Like that's it for me. It was freaking amazing.
And the reason why we're talking about this is also very important because she said, I want somebody in my life just like this, who's a little like coffee who gives you energy, but also calming and sweet and nice, like ice
gelato.
Cream.
Yeah, exactly.
So, is that what single people want? I want an affogato.
Yes, and you can be happy even if you are single. And by the way, what is even if? You should be happy while you're single.
So both of us are individually single, not combined single. But I think
how can you be combined single? Then you would be together, right? That does not make any sense.
That makes absolute perfect sense, but we'll talk about it. What does individuality in a relationship mean?
That's a different topic altogether.
Yeah. But I think where we are in our lives, I think both of us are mildly happily single.
What is mildly?
We can't be supremely happily single because we want somebody in our life.
I am very happy single. क्यों यार? That is what I'm saying. कि people always, oh, you're single. Oh, okay, no man, no worries. You'll find someone. I'm like, it's not a matter of sympathy. It could be choice. It could be, I could be genuinely happy. हाँ, ठीक है. I would be lying if I said कि whenever I saw like a cute couple reel or whenever like winter comes and I don't want anybody. Obviously you want someone, but then you can, again, those are two different kinds of happiness. Please don't compare them. Be happy in both. You have to be.
Okay. So now that we've just touched upon this topic, so tell me how important is freedom and independence when you're in a relationship, and does single make you feel more free and more independent, or you think that you can be very happily independent and free in a relationship also? And is it difficult to be happy, independent, free in a relationship?
I think both of the partners need to be very emotionally mature for both of you to experience true freedom and independence even after you are in a relationship. If either of you is not that emotionally mature, you would try to curtail your partner and try to put restrictions and whatever on them. And I know some people happily adhere to those restrictions. They're like, oh, but he or she loves me. That is why वो मुझे बोल रहा है, बोल रही है करने के लिए. But no, then you are trying to alter who they are as a person, right? And वो थोड़ी देर के लिए probably कर भी लेंगे. उसके बाद once they will always want to get back to their base nature, right? So we love our freedom as human beings. We have like literally fought for freedom, right? What was that about? So we cannot be literally under someone's control. We want to be free. I think if you actually love someone, then you would allow, not actually allow is a very bad word for it. You would actually let them be and let them be their true self and be independent and let them be free. And then I keep saying this, at the end of the day, if they still choose you, then that is what love is about. Now, इसका ये मतलब नहीं है कि like you do whatever with whatever. Obviously, you know your restrictions, but then don't restrict who they are as people, right? Like don't try to अच्छा मान ले मुझे अभी I need longer hair, okay, and you think no, I think short hair would look good on you. So people try to do this manipulation sort of thingy, and then people are like कि oh अच्छा ठीक है मैं कर लेती हूँ, ये बोल रहा है मुझे करने के लिए. Like why?
That could also be a happy compromise, right? Like something that both of you enjoy together. मतलब you can come halfway, right? That is what relationships are all about. It can't be completely half 50-50 all the time, but then it can fluctuate, and at some point it can come 50-50, right? 70-30 से कभी 50-50 आ गया, कभी 60-40 से 50-50
Actually, ये बहुत छोटी चीज है, but I think you should not try to change basic things about your partner, because this is like one of the bad things out there. कि I will try to fit them into the mold that, or the idea that I have of a perfect partner or my perfect partner. I will try to mold this person into that person. No. जो भी ये इंसान है, you have to let them be and give them independence, right? So उस केस में अगर देखा जाए तो unless both of you are very emotionally mature, तुम सिंगल रह के अपनी मैक्सिमम फ्रीडम और इंडिपेंडेंस कर सकते हो.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that this is more like a suggestion, right? Imagine you've always eaten, let's say, Asian food, and you've never tried Italian or never tried Japanese for that matter, right? You think, let's say, Korean food is pretty much the same as Japanese food, right? But what if this person comes and suggests, you could try this particular thing and you might like it? So suggestion is not a bad thing. It's not controlling. It's just, suggesting something so that you could be happier. And what if you discover, I'm sure kya kehte hai, affogato was something that most Indians didn't know about. Somebody posted it on social media, looked nice. Like, isko try karte hain. See, power of suggestion is a very powerful
suggestion
thing.
And forcing someone, there's a fine line in that. And if, as long as they're just suggesting, quote unquote, and not pressurizing you, that is fine. Suggestion is fine.
And I also think that some people are too hard-headed and be like, मैं कभी नहीं बदलूंगा या मैं कभी नहीं बदलूंगी. I think you should also be a little more lenient with yourself and in a relationship. Be like, I will at least try and accept what my partner is saying and asking me to do. And I'm like, ठीक है, कोशिश करके देख सकता हूँ. बिना कोशिश के सीधा ना बोलना is also a very toxic trait, I think.
हाँ, I think so. But then वही है ना कि you should also kind of see कि किस चीज के बारे में बात हो रही है. Like if it is like a very small thing, or try this out. Maybe you don't like a genre of movie and you're like, okay, I love action movies. Would you try action movies with me? And you're like, नहीं यार, पर मैं तो rom-com देखता हूँ, मुझे नहीं देखनी. तो you can at least try, right? So that those are very small things. But if it is something like which is like sort of huge, and it is like a core personality trait for you, and it's like a happy thing. It is something about your personality which makes you happy. For example, I'm a loud person, I'm an energetic person. Imagine if a partner told me, you know what, Sanya, you are way too loud. थोड़ा सा धीरे से बात किया कर. That is literally would be the death of me, right? So he would be trying to change or alter who I am as a person at my heart. So don't do that. So that, even suggesting that, I think is not a good.
But what if the other person knows for a fact that if you do this over that thing, you would be much happier and satisfied?
No, not a personality trait, but probably how you are dealing with the situation, right? So he or she could suggest, you know what, maybe next time you could, if someone is sharing their problem, and you could be like, if you could try this way also, like you've always operated this way, and now if you're ranting about it, ki nahi yaar, nahi hua, and then they suggest you something, ki try this alternate approach, you can try that and see if it works out for you or not. But I have seen so many relationships, and that is, I think, where relationships get toxic a lot, where partners actually try to control their partner's actions, literally. Tu ye mat kar, tu wo mat kar, because I don't know what is the reasoning of that.
So let's bring back the conversation to the perspective of, how all of this affects being single. I think when you're single, do you also try to justify that, I was being controlled and that's why I'm more happier being single, because now I can make my any kind of freedom of choice I can execute, and I can be very, very happy with whatever I do. My mistakes are my own, my successes are my own, my happiness is my own.
नहीं यार, सी दैट इज व्हाट इट वुड डिपेंड ऑन द काइंड ऑफ रिलेशनशिप दैट यू आर गेटिंग आउट ऑफ, जिसके बाद तुम ये बोलोगे, राइट? इफ इट इज अ हैप्पी रिलेशनशिप यू वुड नेवर से दिस, एंड बोथ ऑफ दीज थिंग्स आई हैव एक्सपीरियंस. लाइक वन वाज लाइक अ वेरी कंट्रोलिंग sort of relationship where I actually did feel more free and more independent after coming out of the relationship, and I said that yeah, this that made me realize that I was actually being trying, that person was trying to control me. Obviously no one can but he tried anyway. So that then was like sort of a toxic relationship, and then I've come out of a happy relationship saying that no, there was no control, there was no nothing, and no one was trying to take away anybody's independence, and I felt truly free and independent even when I was in that relationship. So then I would never come out of it and say ki nahi mujhe ab. I felt independence or freedom in a different way. I still felt it.
So the thing about control is that you said ki nobody can control me, right? If it is very visible and apparent, you don't want to be controlled. There are people out there, there are situations out there that will control you so subliminally that you will not even know that you're being controlled, and that is the real power some people have, right? And you do change, and I'm sure you would have felt it, I felt it, that we were being changed and manipulated, or manipulation again I think is not a negative word, it's that you're changing a state of thing. So you were being manipulated either to be more happy or to be sadder than it actually is in that moment, by gestures of love, or maybe acts of kindness, or whatever else for that matter.
Narcissists could love bomb you and control you in that manner, and you would feel like, oh, ये तो मुझसे कितना प्यार करता है, करके चलो इसके लिए कर देते.
Yeah, exactly. So the opposite of that is when you're single, do you kind of miss all of this, like extravagant acts of love and access to love, or things which are nice and cuddly and fizzy? Do you miss all of those things when you're single?
Yeah, 100% sure. And anybody who says ki no, I don't miss it, no, you would, absolutely would. The beauty about what, like literally the beauty of human relationships in general, and not just a pyar wala rishta, har rishta, right? If you think about it, humans are built to network and built to connect with people and talk to people and share experiences and ideas and everything. That is what we were built for. You cannot be like, oh, I'm completely aloof from the entire world and I'm still very, very, very happy, right? Unless until you are like a freaking genius and you're working on something that it's, consuming your entire time, and you don't have time for social interactions or whatever, and you're so occupied, you're literally a freaking genius, right? That is a separate story. But if you're like a normal human being, you would crave for that intimacy, that feeling of, and you know what, at the end of the day, every freaking body wants to feel like they belong somewhere. They can call a person their home, and that is what it is about, right? So you can say all you want, you can take yourself out on dates, you can go on solo vacations, you can do it all, but I feel this. And something that you can't do is, you cannot, when you're like, yaar, हर बार तुम्हें ये सारी चीजें ही खुश नहीं करती. Sometimes you just need a warm hug from the person you love, and it is enough to, calm you down. That is it. And you can't hug yourself. Like, come on. I mean, that is what I'm saying. Like, these cuddles and all of these soft acts of intimacy, they are actually very important. And I think, theek hai, you're not missing out if you don't get them, but these are things which are good to have.
Okay, to think about it now from a different perspective, do you think that when you're single and happy, but you also crave belongingness or, connection or whatever, do you think that is where, situationships or casual relationships stem from? That maybe you don't want it permanently all the time, but you now want it in pieces, bits and pieces, and that is why you're reaching out कि भाई convenience इसके साथ मैंने ये emotional need पूरी कर ली, उसके साथ मैंने ये physical need पूरी कर ली. Do you think?
I don't think you would ever feel belongingness. I think that is what is missing from casual relationships and situationships, which is why the one who is more emotionally involved is kind of hurt, right? Because सब कुछ है वहां पे, literally date nights हैं, you are sleeping with them, everything is happening which is in like a normal couple. The only thing that you don't feel is you don't feel like you belong with them, and that is what hurts them. So I think वो जो चीज पूरा करता है, maybe it ठीक है, your physical needs it can satisfy. I don't think your emotional needs are completely getting satisfied.
Yeah, I think so. That is where, and the belongingness वाली कहाँ आती है, and which is underplayed a lot and misutilized and mistaken a lot many times, is friend zone, right? You are getting that sense of belongingness from people you call your friends, and you're like, हाँ चलो ये वाली emotional need, because this person is always going to be around, but I'm not going to do all the other activities with the person that I am finding this belongingness. I will keep my casual dating or sex or intimacy of any kind for a different person. That is where I think also this problem of people thinking that friend zone is a bad thing, and you should, like, अगर एक बार मैंने किसी को friend zone कर दिया तो I should never think about any intimate or serious things with them, because क्या ही फायदा है. I want all of these things that I'm getting from different people into a singular package, right?
But isn't that the goal? Like finding everything in one person. For me, it is like you have to be my friend, you have to be my lover, you have to be my critic, you have to be my like everything. Like why not? And I will also be that for you. Like let's bring again. इस पे भी एक idea है कि which I also agree with कि you cannot expect one person to fulfill all of your needs because first of all, that puts a lot of pressure on the relationship on that one person, because at the end, that person is just a human being, right? Kitna hi kuch de dega. But then I would like to think that majority of your emotional, physical, whatever needs are getting covered in that relationship. And then if like 30% or whatever is remaining, you can still go out and you anyway have to and should. It's very like healthy for you to maintain several other connections outside of your relationship, right? It's not just कि यार अच्छा मेरा ये हो गया तो मुझे सब चीज इसी के साथ करनी. No, you go out with your friends, with colleagues, whatever, and build connections with them too. Obviously, you know your limits, right? So you can different people can satisfy different parts of your personality. Also, is something that I feel, especially if you are someone like me who has like different aspects to their personality. It is impossible for one person to satisfy all of your needs, or cater to all parts of your personality. So that is also unrealistic.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this is where, this modern society is moving towards, that we think we need one-stop solution or one-stop shop for everything, and that cannot happen. It's not a super app कि भाई आपने grocery भी यहाँ से मंगवा लिया, आपने क्या कहते हैं payments भी कर दी. It doesn't work that way, right? You always, and ये इसलिए भी हो रहा है because हिस्टोरिकली इन इंडियन सोसाइटी आपने एक बार जब शादी कर ली तो आपका सारा क्या कहते हैं दुनिया, your entire universe, your entire world was only revolving around this one person and any offspring that you have with that person, right? Or their extended family. You did not have anything else to do. But that has also carried forward, and some people are mistaking it कि यार तब freedom नहीं थी, अब I can stand up for myself कि चलो I can execute and do everything for my freedom and my happiness. And that is where you're thinking कि यार एक ही इंसान में, क्योंकि you've not left that entire thought of wanting it from one person and that situation कि एक ही इंसान से मिलता था पहले and you were stuck with one person, but now you know कि वो stuck तो आप होने वाले हो एक इंसान के साथ, but let me try to fit in or cram in as many things as I humanly possible into one person and settle with that person. But I think that is very, very wrong, because a lot of people have to understand what you just said is absolutely right, that other people, different people can play different roles in your life and can give you different kinds of happiness and emotional content. But I also think that other people perceiving it, right? Like for example, when I say I'm friends with one of my exes, right? A lot of women might come and say that I'm okay with it, even if you say that it's very platonic, and I can see it visually also that you guys are very platonic and there's nothing wrong at all. But there can be a very insecure, sensitive side to me, which never lets me think of it in a very positive way, that I might still be insecure even though you're not doing anything wrong, and if I see there's no wrong happening. So I think there's a very gray line between what society tells you and what you absolutely want, and you sometimes get
यार तेरे को एक्सेस से ही क्यों दोस्ती करनी थी? इसको
एक से है यार, पहले दो से थी, अब उसकी शादी हो गई और शी इज मूव टू अ डिफरेंट पार्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, सो वो उतना कनेक्शन है नहीं.
अच्छी बात,
बट ठीक है यार, क्यों, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
Like have separate friends who are not your exes.
I don't want too many people in my life. I am like in my personal life, I'm an introvert. For my work, I am extroverted, and that's why it makes me an ambivert. But I think see, it's also about trust, right? You always will take a path of least resistance and will go to the demons that you think you can slay or you can deal with. You never, most of your life, don't take unknown paths or extremely difficult paths, because you don't know what's gonna happen, right? So sometimes, because you've been with somebody, you know what to expect, what will come from them, how much will they appreciate something, not appreciate something. You know the boundaries better with somebody you've been with versus somebody totally new.
नहीं, so you can always make new friendships यार, ऐसा थोड़ी होता है.
मेरे को लगता है बहुत मीनिंगलेस होते हैं यार. Just because you have 100 million friends, क्या फर्क पड़ता है तुम्हारी लाइफ में? You're still not happy.
Don't have 100 million friends.
Are you telling me that extroverts with 200 friends
नहीं, मैं भाई उसी पे आ रही हूँ. No, not at all. Don't instead, और मैं तो बोलती हूँ हमेशा quality over quantity. Have 5 close friends, please just have like something that you can count on your finger, उतने ही रखो, पर वो इतने deep और meaningful connections रखो कि you know that those are like the real ones. That is what I always promote. It's never about कि oh I have 200 connections, 200 people to hang out with. अगर वो करना है तो वो भी करो. But I'm very sure even extroverted people, and I don't know if they don't do this, then I don't know how they would actually be satisfied. You have those 200 people that you have on your like contact list, and you hang out with them whenever. But then have those 5 people also who you trust and जिनसे तुम बिल्कुल सच में दिल की बात कर सकते हो, क्योंकि हर किसी से नहीं कर सकते हो, right? So you would still need those people. And please make new friends.
Please, yeah, always make new friends, but don't unnecessarily bring people into your life, because I have a very strong belief in my life. The more people in your life, the more bhasad, the more problems that you will have. तो मेरे को तो बहुत ज़्यादा लोग चाहिए.
We recently, like ठीक है, अब तो recent नहीं बोलना चाहिए. We met 6 months ago. We are good friends, like really good friends now, right? So अगर ऐसा बोल देते हैं हम में से कोई भी कि यार बहुत हो गया यार, मैं तो इतनी बड़ी हो गई, मैं इतना बड़ा हो गया. अभी ये मैं by the way ये भी मैं कई लोगों से सुनती हूँ कि while dating and all of this, people say I have enough friends in my life. All I need is a partner now. At least maybe you will find another friend. How do you know यार? ऐसे you are writing off the idea नहीं मेरे 4 दोस्त मेरे लिए बहुत enough है यार. You can get something unique out of a new friendship also. Case in point, literally us. This podcast would never have been created if we did not both decide okay, fine, I can get a new friend. Let me try.
But that is the whole point, right? This podcast is what makes us have that stronger bond of friendship, because we know we have to meet at regular intervals. We talk about our thoughts and processes of what we think, how we should navigate through life, and that is what has made us closer. If you think about it, if I didn't have this podcast, I would probably not be meeting you as often, or as in a scheduled way at least, right? And maybe that would have not led to a friendship in the first place.
So whatever.
It's a friendship of convenience also in a way, right? You conveniently found, or we conveniently found good people in the process of doing this podcast, right? That is what work friends are. We are technically work friends.
We are technically work friends, but I would say that the bond, you can have like close friendships with your work friends, like work friends can be close friends. So fine, whatever it is. I'm just saying कि if you can never at any point in your life close yourself to one kind of thing and then still expect to be happy. You cannot say कि मैं तो अब से ये बिल्कुल नहीं करूंगी. I am not. ये तो वैसे ही बोलने का हो गया because I was burnt once or twice or whatever number of times in my relationships. I am now never going to have new relationships. हो गया है मेरा. क्यों यार? You always have to be open to the idea, right? So वही कह रही हूँ. Never say never. You can find new friends also. You can find like a partner also. Whatever. It's a journey. At least you have to keep yourself open to some kind of possibilities as long as you are comfortable with it. Obviously, you can't do everything. हर चीज़ से तुम comfortable नहीं होगे, but
got it. What are the challenges of being single?
Winter is freaking challenging.
Why? लोग गलत सोच लेंगे यार. Explain yourself. You need a warm person to hug and cuddle and...
I feel very cold in general.
Or somebody to bring you garam chai.
Exactly.
You go get it.
Yes, please bring me warm soup and whatever. Like, bring me like a warm ramen bowl. Jo bhi yaar. Bring me hot chocolate. Something yaar. I don't know. I'm just kidding about the whole winter thing. Even, और पता है क्या मैं ये भी बोलती हूँ. Again, I think we were having this discussion. Society. Sometimes societal pressure kind of gets to you. You see all of your friends are getting married. You go to their weddings. You're like, oh, this looks so beautiful, because everything looks beautiful from the outside. You're like, oh, shiny, beautiful thing, right? And then kahin na kahin people around you, maybe your parents, maybe your friends are telling you, yaar, chal na, get married, find someone, you'll be whatever. So, तुम्हें ऐसा लगता है कि शायद वो चीज से मुझे बहुत ज्यादा खुशी मिलने वाली, चलो ये कर लेते, दिस इज लाइक द नेक्स्ट फैड, दिस इज द नेक्स्ट थिंग, जस्ट लाइक अरे बोर्ड के लिए अच्छे से तैयारी कर लो, अच्छे ग्रेजुएशन कर लो, एमबीए कर लो, ये कर लो, वो कर लो, तुम्हारी लाइफ फिर अच्छी हो जाएगी. सो आई थिंक वी कहीं ना कहीं फॉल इनटू दैट ट्रैप ऑल्सो एंड थिंक कि यार बहुत ही कुछ अच्छा हो जाने वाला है अगर मुझे ये मिल जाएगी ये चीज. बट आई मीन वो होता है कि ग्रास इज ऑलवेज ग्रीनर ऑन द अदर साइड.
Just recently I was saying this to someone, I don't remember who. I said, grass always seems greener on the other side might be true, but why can't we be happy with tasting the grass on the other side also? I can be not happy with this one, but I can be content with what I have today. But I also want to try a different flavor of a grass. It doesn't have to be green, could be brown for that matter, but I still want to eat it because it tastes nice. So that's the whole point. You don't have to think in binaries. People, I think relationships and in general life also have thought ki either this or that. Why can't it be both?
तो then be in a situationship.
It is not a situationship. No. How is
वो
it?
है ना बीच में फिर. Like और क्या होगा कि मुझे relationship वाले benefits भी चाहिए, but I don't want to fully commit. That's a situationship. Go do that if that is your thing. No one is judging you.
something is happening in my life where I'm getting all of my emotional content and emotional contentment from one situation, but I am not getting anything else, and I'm pretty happy. So what?
Who are you talking about right now?
We can't discuss that on a public platform.
Okay, cool. Yeah, acha yaar, this guy openly airs out all my dirty laundry in front of you all, and then I also being like
We've not name dropped anybody ever.
We are the word that you have a problem with. Classier than that, like quote unquote. We are. Come on, we are better than that. We are not. We don't do name dropping. We are not. Oh, वैसे ठीक है. मतलब
अरे मेरे को ये भी लगता है कि even if we name drop something, how does it matter to random people? तुम तो नहीं जानते उसको.
जो क्यों देनी है किसी एक इंसान को कि हम नेम ड्रॉप कर रहे हैं? क्या सेलिब्रिटी थोड़ी है?
मेरे लाइफ में तो तू सेलिब्रिटी है, पर फिर भी मैं तेरे बारे में बात नहीं कर सकता. इनफैक्ट दैट इज द होल पॉइंट ऑफ बीइंग सेलिब्रिटी. यू कीप इट हश हश. इवन दो यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इट इन अ पब्लिक आई, देयर इज समथिंग पर्सनल एंड वेरी इंटीमेट, सो दैट मेक्स इट मोर एक्साइटिंग.
Anyway, so this is him being a Cancerian, where they would literally take out all of your information, and me being an Aries being like an open book, and yeah, I'll tell you about myself.
On the contrary, you are more Cancerian because of your moon sign, and I am less, very, very less Cancerian because I'm not supremely emo. I take faster decisions.
I'm also not supremely emo, but I definitely display a lot of Cancerian traits. But I'm saying when it comes to being secretive and being expressive, I am like true Arian in that, and you are a true Cancerian in this. By the way, people, this is literally what happens. I have way too many Cancerian friends as of this year, I think, and I have observed this about Cancerian and Aries relationship. Like Aries are like extroverts, and Cancerians are sort of introverts, ambiverts at best. So they are like very good listeners, and Aries like love to express themselves. So the Cancerian would literally just be sitting and let them speak, and we like tell everything to you, and we like, yeah, ठीक है, ये भी सुन ले, ये भी सुन ले, ये भी सुन ले.
So I had started a podcast before, but didn't work out with the people because of scheduling issues and all of that. And I met Saniya, and we spoke. In the first 15 minutes, I told her this is what I do, and I do podcast and all of that, and I'd love to find new co-host or whatever. And
ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ था.
I'm coming to that. You were the one who said.
So we were literally randomly discussing about something related to love relationships, and we were discussing our ideologies कि हाँ हम तुझे ऐसा लगता है, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, and it happened organically the first time we met. And I, at the end of it, I was like, this could literally have been on an episode of a podcast, and then you whatever came in with the information कि हाँ मैं तो करता था and all of that. That is what happened.
I think I told you first, and then that's why you said it could have been a podcast, because otherwise reference को आएगा podcast का.
क्योंकि I always wanted to do a podcast, but I wasn't finding I did not want it to be like a one-woman show. I wanted it to be with someone because I like this.
And I can't do it by myself because the sad reality of society is nobody wants to listen to a guy.
Oh my god.
Unless there's a woman, nothing is more exciting. So
all guys say this कि हाँ लड़की है, इसकी पिक्चर पे तो ज्यादा लाइक्स आते, लड़कियों को
सच्ची बात है यार. हेलो,
हॉट लड़कों की पिक्चर पे भी आते होंगे.
एक सेकंड, हॉट लड़कों की तादाद कितनी ही है ये बता दो मुझे.
Whatever, we're not getting into that whole debate.
Also, I think it's like a thing, right? Like people say, like Bumble says through their studies कि people with pets or kids in their pictures get more likes, and that is how people perceive. So other society also perceives कि भाई ये लड़के में कुछ तो है क्योंकि इसके साथ ये लड़की hang out कर रही है. I think my social value is going up because you are doing a podcast with me.
Oh my god, why?
We are way too single, yeah. We are digressing too much. But anyway, yeah. So, okay. So the challenges, you were talking about challenges. So the challenges are...
Now, what do you think the challenges are, by the way? By the way, I don't think I addressed it fully.
But okay, let me add to that. Yeah. So I think the challenges are exactly this, right? Like, you see other people around you, mingling and getting married, and especially during November and, winters. You see itni shadiyan, and like, sometimes you feel, ठीक है, अच्छी बात है, I'm not married, but sometimes you also feel कि काश होता तो I probably would have been a different person in a different place altogether, right? So you sometimes get into the whole idea of thinking what if, right? You are always in that state of mind ki would this have happened, would this have not happened? So you're always thinking. In fact, when you're single, you think way too much than in a relationship, unless that relationship is toxic, which is making you think too much. But I think in the very nice healthy relationship, you would be more free to not overthink about something. I think that is a warning sign also. If you're overthinking in a relationship about
but pata hai kya? If you are an overthinker, you will overthink in a happy relationship also, because you are an overthinker. Na? Nobody can change it. But then the other person will probably like over-explain and then calm you down also, because they know you are an overthinker. So they would cater to it.
Yeah. So okay. So I just recently went to this I went for this road trip across Rajasthan and Jaisalmer. So I went with my best friend and his wife, right? And they've been married for 3 years. So I saw a side and I came back with an epiphany that, you know, it is nice in parts to have a partner where I totally understand the utility of having a partner, that you have somebody on your corner, even boring places can seem a little more inclusive because you have somebody to discuss things with. But on the other hand, there are times when two couples, no matter how much they're in love with or how much connected they are, there are times they disagree and there are things that happen and you realize, ki, haan, theek hai, yaar, I don't want to deal with this. So I realized being single, it makes you more longing वाली feeling तो दे ही देता है, but being single also gives you the idea or clarity कि यार why you are single. It teaches a lot about you. So being single, the challenge of being single is to deal with the reality of who you are and what you need in your life. Sometimes वो ना एक mirror की तरह काम करता है. It shows you your reality, why you are single and why things are not working out with you while everybody around you seems happy. So it's a little bit of a, this mother kind of a thing, life being mother and, or your father typically, generally, कि सर पे चढ़ के बैठा हुआ है कि इसलिए तेरे लाइफ में ये नहीं हो रहा है, this is why you're not happy. So that is a challenge where you overthink and you want to understand कि, why am I, where am I, right? So anyway, that, and I think the challenges of being single is also going to places like, for example, I go to movies all by myself, or I go to, cafes. If I want to eat something nice, I will go by myself. I don't need the crutch of a friend or anything else for that matter. It's nice to go with somebody, but I go alone also. But what happens is that once happened with me, I walked into a, cafe and I said, so he asked me how many people, and I said just me. And he was expecting that I was there with a person because I wanted dessert only. So anyways, that happens. So the challenge of being single is to justify to everyone, and also some people look down on you कि there must be something wrong with you, is why you're क्या कहते हैं single, मतलब तेरे में ही कोई कमी होगी, that's why you're single. अरे नहीं यार, you don't know the half of my story. You don't know why I am in this situation. In fact, I might be really really happy and finally be क्या कहते हैं free, and I might be taking a sigh of relief कि thank God I'm single. But everybody around me is क्या कहते हैं looking at me like तूने तो कुछ गड़बड़ क्या होगा इसलिए तू single है.
पता है, especially this shit gets real once you turn 30 and above. People like इसमें ही पक्का कोई गलती होगी तभी इसकी शादी नहीं हो रही, तभी ये ऐसे अकेले बैठा. अच्छा, और अगर शादी होकर डिवोर्स हो गया होगा, then also they'll be like, अच्छा, can't even keep up with like a relationship, right? So society would always judge you. They would not judge the toxic fucking marriages जो 30, 40, 50 साल चल रही हैं just because लोग जबरदस्ती, people are literally, they would go through abuse and still stay with their partner because the society tells you you need to be married and you need to portray that you are so-called happily married. But तुम्हारे घर पे जो हो रहा है वो होने दो, but you still need to keep up with the marriage, right? Only because of the societal pressure, sometimes people are not even bold enough to take that decision कि let me just walk out of this because this is not enough for me. Because उनको भी ये लगता है, अच्छा इसका मतलब लोग मुझे ही बोलेंगे कि मेरी गलती. That is what I'm saying. No, stop justifying it to the society. And I think being single and singlehood is becoming more prominent these days, and for good reason, I think, because in today's day and age, people have started speaking about their rights and they know what they want and don't want, and people are usually not taking shit in general. So we are actually more free, and we are expressing our freedom by walking out of bad things also. And I think that you should actually do that. So there is also immense power in being single. There is. You can actually see, I feel you were right. When you are like in a happy, healthy relationship, kahin na kahin that becomes sort of, ठीक है, it drowns you, but it also satisfies you, and you might not always have that, आग maybe अंदर कि यार ये भी करना है वो भी करना है. Your partner can also push you to, and good healthy partners definitely do that. I have seen so many cases where people were, not doing probably that great professionally or jo bhi, but their partner came into their life and a very good person, and they pushed them to do something that the person could not even imagine. So वैसा भी होता है, but I'm just in general saying many people are like, they get into completely that comfort mode, safe zone कि ठीक है आपको क्या ही बाहर निकलना है इससे, right? So वो भी एक चीज होती है. So when you are single, you can also utilize all of this energy that you have towards something productive.
Good that you bring the point of productivity and being single. Do you think people get more serious about their financial goals or their career goals when they're single because now they're not being drowned by somebody else? Do you think you need support to do well in your life, or do you think sometimes you don't need somebody who's eating in your energies to actually
It is
flourish?
a mix of both. Some people thrive when they are given emotional support. So you have to understand who you are as a person. If you think you are someone who craves for emotional support and support, you need someone's support, and then you can build on that. Also, I think there is a problem with that also, because the only validation that you should be seeking is your own. So think about, why do you need, okay, if you're getting additional support, it's a very good thing, and all of us need to find additional emotional support at different times in our life, but that should not be your base nature कि मुझे कोई और मुझ में believe करेगा तभी मैं खुद में believe करूंगी. क्यों? First believe in yourself. If someone else also believes in you, that is a huge add-on, but that should not be your base कि अच्छा मुझ में कोई believe करेगा फिर उस पे मैं build. कई बार I agree you that this is very idealistic. कई बार you need that emotional support, and that is what the case that I was saying, right? कि वो emotional support मिला और लोगों ने अच्छा किया. तो I think that depends on your nature also. If you think, and also the kind of the relationship, if it is a toxic relationship, it is just going to drain away your energy, and that energy, and you are actually not going to have any energy left for your tasks, your goals. They will pull, you will be subconsciously pulled away from what you want. But what a good relationship would do, it would actually add on to that energy. If you are genuinely happy in life, you would feel more stable, more calm, and you would be able to focus on what you want, right? And you're not just, it's not two things in your mind right now. Oh, I don't even have a partner, I probably have to look and go and find someone, and then I also have to work on my professional things. Okay, one area of my life is sorted, let me just focus on moving forward in my professional life. So it can work both ways depending on who you are as a person. You need to know that for
Yeah, so
yourself.
you're absolutely right, and I would also agree with whatever you said. But I also want to add to this a different dimension: is that the reason why people in their between the age groups of 27 and 32 or 34 are kya kehte hain, single predominantly today. One part of that is also they're not financially stable, or they don't see themselves financially where they want to be to start a family or to start that kind of a commitment with each other. And that's why they're not even marrying and taking a longer time to marry. I think the being single is a byproduct of where you are in your career also, and that is you know bearing down on you as a person of your choices of how to take a relationship forward. Do you even want a relationship at this point in time? Because everybody has expectations, right? Even the people who love you have expectations from you. Your partner has expectations, and you say this all the time, and a lot of people say it, and I also say कि प्यार से पेट नहीं भरता. But you also go, and a lot of people say that financial independence, freedom, financial success is very important to being happy in life, right?
It is 100%. वो सब ना बोलने में और सुनने में ही अच्छा लगता है, but end of the day, sadly, but this is literally the harsh truth, you need money for like a happy relationship, and we have spoken about this in the long distance thing also. Money is literally the base of a happy relationship. It plays a huge part in it. Obviously that is not it, not at all, but then फिर इस पे ये भी आर्गुमेंट लोग कर सकते हैं, छोटी छोटी खुशियां बुलशिट, ठीक है, वो सब ढूंढो, वो तो ढूंढो ही, लेकिन प्लीज
Okay, I'll tell
पैसा
you.
brings you comfort and will give you that cushion, and then you can do nicer stuff for your partner, which can be bought by money. Also do things which are priceless.
No, but I have a very contradictory view to this. Is that you, I think, mentioned yesterday that The Weeknd seems very sad in life, and that's why he makes sad songs. Maybe it's just the whole
But
time.
I love The Weeknd, by the way.
Yeah, true. So what I'm saying is that if you look at people who have achieved success, not everybody is happy. In fact, I just saw Gautam Singhania's wife is asking 75% of his money in the divorce case, which is 11,000 crore rupees. Can you imagine? 75%. Anyway. So I have a very contradictory view to this, where I believe that ये जो celebrities हैं उनकी life में भी problems हैं, right? And Weekend का example अभी हम ले रहे थे, तो उसमें मेरे को ये लगता है कि no matter how much money you have, your emotional problems and turmoils are always going to affect you, no matter how happy you are. People say, and people justify this both ways. Oh, if I'm sad and happy, at least if I'm crying with my Gucci bag, I'm sitting in my Mercedes and crying. Oh, that's a more
I say this.
But if so sometimes when you're absolutely sad and crying, your gut actually tears apart, and you feel so physically broken that no matter where you are, you might be in a Rolls Royce, you might be in a helicopter, you might be underwater. How does it matter? Agony is agony, right?
I agree. Mental health is not कि यार पैसे से सब.
So I tell you where I actually am contradicting here is, I think that सबके नेसेसिटीज एंड सबके मीन्स क्या कहते हैं अलग होते हैं, एंड सबकी इच्छाएं मनोकामनाएं भी अलग होती है. नॉट एवरीबडी वांट्स अ प्राइवेट जेट एंड क्या कहते हैं ट्रैवल द एंटायर वर्ल्ड. सम पीपल जस्ट वांट अ स्कूटी एंड क्या कहते हैं बी एबल टू ईट कुल्फी, राइट? फॉर दैट
people
मैटर.
are नहीं those people are lying to themselves and lying to you also if they are saying कि मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. They have just accepted the fact कि मेरे से इस जन्म में नहीं हो पाएगा
तो
private
जब
jet, so कोई बात
but
नहीं,
that is also
मैं स्कूटी में
but
कुछ
that
भी
is
खा
also
के
an
खुश
important
रहता हूँ.
part of somebody's relationship where you are like मुझे पता है in my means where I was born in my situation, while motivational speakers will tell you कि you can achieve everything you want, in the reality of things you could also match with somebody who क्या कहते हैं is of your same strata. You don't always have to have a moonshot and be like I am a normal human being and I want to marry a billionaire. Not everybody wants that. Most people would like that, would want that, but a lot of people are very realistic कि भाई मेरे means में ये available है, I want to be happy in this. Sometimes people are happy in the
नहीं, that is part of acceptance also, and you should definitely accept. And by the way, don't I would never recommend, मैं तो यही recommend करती हूँ, please just marry in your social strata, like don't go बहुत ही ऊपर, like what would you get?
Because I'm saying that I've seen a lot of people be very very happy with each other in every क्या कहते हैं strata of क्या कहते हैं society, right? Like for example, I have seen people with very limited means who live क्या कहते हैं in a certain place which is not fancy but is not too fancy also. But see, what makes you happy in a relationship, right? Doing activities, going out eating, having cool things to do. ठीक है, आप क्या कहते हैं बाकी लोगों की तरह 3 महीना Miami में नहीं रह पा रहे, but even if you let's say go together, if you can afford to let's say go to Vietnam twice in a year or maybe 2 different countries in a year versus somebody who can actually go to क्या कहते हैं इंडिया में 10 जगह एक साथ घूम सकते हैं. See, what brings you happiness are those particular activities. It's not just the place or the thing will give you activity, right? So some people find joy in that also. Look at क्या कहते हैं hippies for that matter. Do you think hippies don't ever क्या कहते हैं fall in love and they're not happy? भाई उनको तो क्या कहते हैं capitalism से कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. Do you think socialists are not happy? Only capitalists are happy. In fact, I think capitalists are more unhappy.
Yeah, because it is a never ending race, right? Because capitalism is one, it will always, because and I think यहाँ पे where even I agree, like when I say this ki even I am by the way one of those people who are like but I would love to cry alone in a Mercedes, like yeah, I am one of those people. But my whole point is you are actually right, shared activities is what brings you together in a relationship. And ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है जो तूने बोला कि भाई नहीं जब तक मैं बिल्कुल एकदम कैलिफोर्निया में बैठी नहीं होंगी, मैं मुझे बीच पे और मैं बिल्कुल एलए में रोडियो ड्राइव पे नहीं होंगी तो मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगेगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. तुम यहाँ से अगर हिमाचल भी चले जाओ ना, बट यू आर डूइंग इट टुगेदर एंड इट्स लाइक अ वेरी हैप्पी रिलेशनशिप, इट्स अ शेयर्ड एक्टिविटी, यू टुक अ लॉन्ग ड्राइव, यू डिड इट, यू आर स्टिल गोइंग टू फील हैप्पियर एज कम्पेयर टू, मैं तो ये भी बोलती हूँ, you could be in the best city in the whole world and but if the person that you are with or if whatever reason you are not happy, you would still like be crying there, then what is the point of doing that, such an extravagant, such a very nice thing, it's not making you happy, right? So if it makes you happy, fine, but हाँ हमेशा फ्लैशी चीजों में ही अच्छा होता है ऐसा नहीं होता है, you need to find happiness in all and small moments also, that is the truth.
Right. While there are a lot more aspects of being single and being not with someone and all of these things, I think let us wrap this up for now. We can come back to this topic again, but before we conclude this conversation, can you tell me the decision to staying single, is it only upon that individual or is it also society driven? Do you think सिंगल रहने का क्या कहते हैं डर आपको सोसाइटी से आ रहा है कि यार लड़के बेकार हैं, not the right partners around, society is going to shade, or is it just you thinking that I am not ready? What do you think is the decision?
Again, that's a very personal thing. It depends कि तुम कैसे perceive कर रहे हो. If you are like a strong person who can hold their own opinions, you would think for yourself कि यार मैं क्यों single हूँ, क्या मुझे अभी ये चाहिए कि नहीं, whatever you said, right? Financially मैं यहाँ नहीं हूँ या वहाँ नहीं हूँ. But like we talked about in the healing episode also, right? You should not ever think that my life needs to be perfectly sorted for me to be in a relationship. You have to, as long as you're working on your things, whatever it is you think that you lack, keep working on it. And this is also something that you should side by side do, right? So ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि पहले ये वो, you can do, maybe you can have it all, or at least you can try.
I think I तो absolutely believe that being single is more क्या कहते हैं societal impact on you than you wanting it yourself. Like I said about financial freedom or security or where because see, as a guy, average looking guy in this country, I am probably getting one match per let's say a few days, maybe 10 days, maybe 15 days, maybe, whatever. There are good looking hot guys who are getting matches like women, like har swipe pe mil raha hai, and women definitely har swipe pe almost unko match milta hai. But what I'm trying to say is that because I'm at the mercy of how society perceives a person, right? Like, for example, I might not be all that good looking, but maybe my personality makes up for more than that, right? So we can't say, because this part of my personality is not, something that I can demonstrate easily or not at one glance, versus, if you visually looked at someone, you like, yaar, ye to bahut sundar hai, cute hai, aur isne badhiya cheezein likhi hain. That's why you're able to choose that faster. But then the real personality is not coming out unless somebody spends a considerable amount of time with me, right? So I think half of the time you're not finding someone. While I am very happy, I've reconciled, I have thought ki why I'm single, what I need to make myself into, and what do I need to do to be happy and not be single. But the reality of is, even when I'm ready, it is not in my hands to find someone, and whenever that person comes into my life, right, it is never in my hand.
That is why you should keep yourself open and not, इसीलिए तुम बोलती, the word actively looking, I feel like this should be ठीक है, you have to try for it, but then it will come in when it will come. You have to just keep yourself open to it. That's it. Don't close yourself completely off.
Exactly. And this is what I also want to add here, is a lot of people, especially in the age group of 27 plus to plus 30s, are thinking कि यार मेरे को तो कोई मिलने ही नहीं वाला, मेरे को तो लगता है मैं सिंगल मर जाऊंगा या मर जाऊंगी, और I'm not going to be ever happy in any relationship. I think that's a very pessimistic view. I think part of being happily single is also being optimistic कि no matter how long it takes, you will find someone. कोई ना कोई तो आएगा.
Yeah, exactly. Have faith. Believe.
Absolutely believe. So yeah, on that note, that is a discussion about single panthi and singleness and whatever you might want to call it. But yeah, if you listeners have any thoughts and comments, please do share it on the comment section on YouTube or on Spotify. I don't know, however you comment on that. But you can also reach out to us on my social handle, which is Paradox Aurick, or you could reach out to Saniya at
Saniya Dhawan 1 Twitter. X, we call it X now.
Yeah, Saniya Dhawan 1 on X, which was formerly known as Twitter.
Yes.
So anyway, so on that note, thank you Saniya for doing this.
Thank you Aurick. Bye.
बढ़िया बारिश हो रही है यार आज गुड़गांव में.
बाय बोलने के बाद एक कौन बोलता है, बट एनीवे
ब्लूपर्स. नहीं क्यों, हेलो क्या हो गया, बार बार बाय नहीं बोल सकते
यार. बारिश बढ़िया नहीं लगती है मुझे, बट एनीवे इट इज मेकिंग इट